Good morning, Anne. Here's the machine, the Breville Barista Express BES870 in silver. So this is a refurbished unit. It's just been fully serviced, checked for issues, and as the description says, this one has an issue with the gauge being a bit too slow to react. But otherwise, the machine is fully functional, no issues. That's why it's been discounted. So yeah, on the outside, the machine is a brushed stainless steel finish. So it does have some scratches, mainly on the front, a few dings here and here. But yeah, generally good condition. This is standard wear and tear. I will make a coffee in this video to show you how it works, and maybe a few tips and tricks as well. When you first turn it on, it takes about 1 minute to turn on and reach temperature. So I've turned it on already before. When the machine is up to temperature, you'll see the lights go on. That means it's ready to make a coffee. But for best results, it's recommended to warm up the machine. So you can either wait 10 or 20 minutes to let the machine warm up. So if you actually put your cup on top and wait 10 or 20 minutes, the cup will get warm, the internal piping will get warm, your portafilter will get warm, so it's good to have things warm before the shot for the best flavor. If you're in a hurry, you can also warm up the machine quickly, and you can just do that by running a blank shot. So a blank shot, so without any coffee in the handle, I'm going to put on the handle, put the cup underneath, and press the double. This will warm up the machine and also warm up the cup. And if there's any dirt or oil, this process will also clean it. So I think it's a good step to do before making your coffee, and even after the coffee as well. You can do this once or twice. It's up to you. I think once will be good enough, especially if the machine has been on for a few minutes. You can do it twice again. I'm going to try the single button now for you. Okay, so the cup is nice and hot now. The portafilter is nice and hot. What I will do is grab a tissue, empty the portafilter from any water. You want this to be empty and dry before grinding the coffee, so that you get a good surface for the coffee. This is the double basket. So the machine comes with all the 4 baskets, 2 pressurized and 2 non-pressurized. The pressurized ones are in the storage. The pressurized ones are, for beginners, if you are using, maybe if you're using old beans, or if you already have beans pre-ground, so in ground form, you can use pre-ground coffee here. But if you're grinding fresh from the grinder, and you're using good beans, it's recommended to use the single wall. And the single wall is just one layer. So you see, if it has multiple holes, a lot of holes underneath, it's a single wall. If it has one hole underneath, it's the dual wall one. Yeah, so this is a double basket. This takes about 18 grams of coffee, so I'm going to use my scale to measure 18 grams. You don't have to be exactly on the 18 gram mark, but the closer the better, I think. Grind size is at number 5 at the moment. This is a dial. Smaller means finer, larger number means larger and coarser coffee. So if you decrease the number here, you actually make the coffee finer, and that will slow down the shot. So if the shot that you get is too quick, it can either be due to old beans or due to very large grind size. As long as you know that you have the correct amount of coffee in the handle. If the amount of coffee is also low, that will also make your shot very runny. Okay, so there's a single and a double selection. We're doing a double shot, so I'm going to put it at about 12 o'clock position for the grind amount. This will give you more coffee or less coffee. Let's put it at 12 o'clock and see how much we get. Okay, that's good. Very close to 18. This is, let's see, about 16. Okay. I'm going to add a bit more. So you can add more by holding the button. If you hold it, it'll grind only when you hold it. Yeah, 17 and a half. That's okay, I'll keep it there. I don't want to overfill the portafilter. Otherwise, if you overfill the portafilter, you'll have trouble putting the handle on, and you might also get really, really high pressure. So you want to, when you're tamping, let me come this way. When you're tamping, you want to make sure you tamp firmly and you tamp evenly, so it has to be flat, not at an angle. So you have to make sure of that. And also, because we have the correct amount of coffee, you can check that you have the correct amount of coffee by looking at the depth of the tamper, how deep it goes. If it's the same depth as this silver part, it's pretty much on the dot, the correct grind size. So in this instance, I've got it at about 17.5 grams, which is pretty much the full amount that you can put in the machine, in the handle, and the tamper only goes as deep as the silver part. This part. Yeah, and make sure it's nice and smooth surface. Clean the edges as well, and then lock it in. You don't have to lock it in all the way to the right because the seal is in good condition, the rubber group head seal. You can push it all the way to the right if you want, but for now, in the middle is fine and it won't pop off. I just wanted to actually show you the issue with the machine. So the machine works, everything works, except that the gauge is a bit too slow. So I'll show you what that means. Just rinsing the head. I've got a testing handle here, so this will give us full pressure on the gauge. This will stop the water from going through. So this will show us the full pressure of the machine. I'll tell you when the machine is at full pressure, but the gauge won't be moving. That's full pressure now, but the gauge is a bit too slow. So it's not moving now, even though we have full pressure. If I do this again, maybe it'll move a bit more, because I have seen it move, it's just a bit too slow. So yeah, it started moving now. I'm going to stop it and then start it again. So as you see, it's a bit too slow. We're almost at full pressure now. And now the machine is at full pressure. You see the gauge go all the way to the full pressure, which is 1 o'clock, about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So the pressure is fine, the piping is fine. I've tested the machine and I've opened it up, checked for every issue there is. It's just that the gauge, the pipes leading to the gauge are blocked. I couldn't really clean them, unfortunately. But yeah, that's full pressure. I'm going to turn it off and it will slowly come down. Actually, yeah. So you can't see it, but you just have to wait for it. So now we have this shot. Maybe we'll also see the pressures from the shot, because now there's water in the gauge piping. But look, yeah, there's a lot of machines out there that don't even have pressure gauges, so I think for the price, it's not too bad. You can use the hot water tap here. This will give you clean hot water right from the boiler. I like to use it to either make a long black coffee, but sometimes I like to add a bit of hot water to my coffee, to my cup, just so that I can add sugar. The water helps the sugar dissolve, I think. So now I'm going to actually make the espresso. So again, I'm going to measure the output. So I measured the input 18 grams or 17.5. You want to double that. So 2 times 17.5 is 35. So I'm going to aim for 35 grams, approximately 35 grams of coffee. Okay. I'm going to show you how to program the button. So to program, you press program, and then you choose the button you want to program. Programming will tell the machine how much coffee to give you. So use the double. So if we have all the settings right, we should be getting a good coffee with good flow. Yeah, this is a bit too runny, so I'll stop it there. It's a bit too runny because usually this shot should take about between 20 to 30 seconds. It took only 18 seconds. It's a bit too quick, but we still got a good shot, I think. In terms of volume, so this is 39 grams, so not too long, not too bad. With some crema, and it smells nice, so that's okay. So what I do know now, that maybe grind size number 5 is too large, so we'll go to grind size number 4, for example, and make another coffee at grind size number 4. But I think my beans are getting a bit too old, so it could be the beans as well. It's always recommended to use fresh beans because they will give you better flavors, better pressures, and better crema as well. When you're done, make sure to clean the portafilter straight away. And it's recommended you use a knockbox. If you don't have one, let me know. I have one for sale. After that, you press the double button to rinse the machine and also rinse the portafilter. Yeah, so that's how you clean the portafilter. Maybe also every now and then just grab a tissue and make sure you wipe. Make sure you don't burn yourself, but also wipe the shower screen and the seal, the rubber seal. This will prolong its life and obviously make your machine cleaner and keep it happy. So next we'll do I'm going to lock it in just a little bit, not all the way, because I'm not making a coffee now, just like that. Turn on the steam. It'll take about 10-15 seconds to start steaming. Give it some time. I'm just going to fill my milk jug with milk until it finishes. Okay, turn it off. Put the one with the jug halfway filled. Keep spinning the milk. And try to keep the tip close to the surface, so that if you keep the tip close to the surface, it actually injects air into the milk and makes it creamy and bubbly. So keep it close to the surface for maybe 10 or 20 seconds. And for the remainder of the time, actually put the tip deeper into the milk so that you stop injecting air. You don't want to inject it for too long because it will make it very, very foamy. So yeah, like I said, 10 or 20 seconds close to the surface and the rest of the time deeper into the milk. But keep spinning it, make sure it's at the edge of the jug and spinning it. And I'm going to stop it when my jug is very hot to touch. So usually that's about 60 degrees Celsius. The machine will now cool down and it'll go to espresso mode. Yep, so now it's ready. The machine is it's cooled down and it's ready to make another coffee. You see the buttons light up, that means it's ready. Very important to clean the machine, to clean the wand right after you're done. So make sure you wipe all the sides, the front, the back, sometimes even up here, you get some milk. And also it's recommended to purge so that you don't have any blockages. So purge, just turn it on for a second or two, just to get rid of any milk that's on the inside of the wand tip. You can do this before letting the machine cool down. So let's say you're steaming, you're steaming the milk, you finish, take the milk jug out, just give it a purge, and then turn it back off, and then the machine will cool down, and then you can wipe it. Okay, so here's my milk, all ready to go. I'm just gonna knock the jug on the counter just to break any bubbles. So just knock it on the jug, on the counter to break any bubbles. And then swirl it around to mix it up. Do this a few times until the surface is nice and smooth. Yeah, so it's a frothy texture now that we have. I would say it's closer to a cappuccino. And if you're very artistic and talented, you can do latte art easily with this machine. I'm not usually aiming for latte art. Here's what it looks like. A bit too many bubbles. I think it's because I held the tip close to the surface for too long. But yeah, that's the coffee that we got. Good amount of froth, and I love hot. Hope you enjoy the machine. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.